T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX and welcome back to another video. Why do I have the urge to use the word or the term crikey all of a sudden? Or Mr. Leahy? Anyway, if you get that reference, all the more power to you. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. But anyway, well, this is going to be a little bit of a short video about a flea market find by my father that he actually gave me. He thought that $5 or 50 Swedish kroner was a, yeah, you can either give it, take it or leave it. Anyway, but here it is actually, the Snapshot maker, in my opinion, the Nikon F-401s. One of Nikon's entry-level cameras, but still a little bit interesting in its own right, even though it is for the amateur, or yeah. It almost seems to me like Nikon pressure tested a lot of new features in lower tier cameras before they adapted that into the more professional grade cameras, the higher up, or the higher tier versions. But anyway, a little bit of a cheat sheet again here now. Nikon F-401s, the Snapshot maker, is what I have chosen to call this little number. It is called in Europe and so on, it was the Nikon F-401s. I think the North American designation for this model was the N4004, N4004. Yeah, it was introduced in 1987. It was discontinued in 1990 actually. So a fairly short-lived camera in its in the grand scheme of things, or relatively speaking. It has shutter speeds ranging from 1 whole second up to 1/2000th of a second. Yeah. The modes on this particular model is manual, aperture priority, timed exposure, and AL for lock. So the same, actually on the shutter speed dial you actually have the lock function that actually turns the camera off. Let's see here, what other little features does it have? Yeah, it was the first Nikon camera to have a thumb operated, let's see, yeah, a thumb operated aperture wheel, which meant that you could put your lenses on the highest aperture, lock them, and you would actually choose your you can choose your shutter speed with the front dial here, between bulb mode 1 second bulb mode 1 second and all the way up to 1/2000th of a second. What I've also been told, there was a lot of different variations of this one. I think there also exists a 401x, and I think that might be the one with the time function. Correct me if I'm wrong with that in the comment section below. But anyway, yeah, I don't have any film in this, but I do have batteries to just check that this camera is functioning. Yeah, and it's one of those that sometimes it doesn't want you to take an image if it deems that it's not appropriate. But then also, yeah, if I just take the lens cap off, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky camera to use, but yeah. Oh yeah, I know what it is. I had it in aperture priority mode, or rather I have it in a locked aperture mode. So anyway, yeah, as you can see. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Yeah, it has autofocusing modes, manual and single. There is no continuous autofocus on this model, unfortunately, or yeah, it's an entry-level body, so what do you expect? Also, this one was a little bit special that it had a full TTL hot shoe on the top of it, and the built-in pop-up flash, which I have already shown to you. Let's see here. Yeah, according to what I've been able to find online about this camera and one of the user manuals, which was for the X variant, this one had center weighted and matrix metering modes, so dual metering modes, and yeah, I haven't really been able to figure out how you access the different ones, but anyway, so it was a entry-level body in the late 1980s that had matrix metering, which was kind of interesting actually. Motor drive is built in, and you can only have one frame at a time. There's no continuous shooting modes on these one and so on. Autofocus screen or screens and so on, you can't change any screens on this one like you can on the little bit higher tier ones. Let's see here, yeah, and I don't really have any number of units manufactured for this camera. But anyway, as I stated, the price paid by my dad actually on a whim at a flea market, 50 Swedish kroner or $5 approximate. So, meh, you can either take it or leave it anyway. But anyway, also, yeah, entry-level SLR camera by Nikon, made in the late 80s, a few different versions, yeah. And it was usually paired with the infamous, I dare say, 35 to 70, 3.3 to 4.5 variable aperture lens. I mean, this one, according to a number of photography sites on both online and YouTube photographers and so on, this is a POS piece of glass, actually. It's something that you would actually... let's see here. I got it. Yeah, I do have a Hoya filter on it that came with it, so that was a little bit of a positive. But if I would, since this is a snapshot camera, and that's kind of its niche market, if you know what I'm saying, it's for, you know, family occasions. Yeah, this one is not really that sharp of a lens. It has apparently a lot of vignetting and so on, so it's not a sharp performer in any stretch of the imagination. There is a ton of different versions of this lens, and I've seen them you know, in drones, you know, on YouTube, no, not YouTube, but on eBay and Tradera and all sorts of you know, marketplaces for camera gear. But what I would recommend instead, we're gonna, you know, take off this turd, and here is probably what I would recommend as a suitable replacement. It is the AF Nikkor 35 to 135, 35 to 45. It's a zoom lens with a bit of a macro setting as well, and it has a closest focusing range of 1.5 meters. Whereas the kit lens that we can, yeah, 0.5 meter with a little bit of focus macro, if you want to put it like that. But anyway, I would say that this is probably a more versatile piece of glass to have on this type of camera body, if you know, if you're gonna use it. As you can hear also, autofocusing system is not the best in the world, but for the price paid and for what it is, I think that this is it is a okay lens. It's an okay setup for what it is. So yeah, I got this extremely cheap on Tradera because there's a little bit of a scratch on the front element. I got this, this has been locked away in the back of my cabinet for a time now because I haven't really used it that much, frankly. But if you have this type of setup and this is your main camera and so on, if you're a film shooter, I would say that get this lens. It would be much more versatile than that one. And I can almost guarantee you, scratch and all, this would probably gain you better results, as well as a little bit of a rubberized lens hood. So yeah, that's a little bit of the planned video for today. I know it wasn't maybe not the most exciting piece of kit to show you, but yeah, let's see. I think that it's still a little bit of an interesting part in Nikon's history. This is also when glass, when plastic started to make its entrance in camera manufacturing, and many camera makers switched from the good solid metal body constructions and went with these types of plastic bodies instead, which is a little bit, yeah, you can have your own opinion on it. I think I like the ones with a little bit of, it's a more tactile feeling in my opinion when it comes to camera body design and materials used. But that's just my opinion. You can probably put it in the comment section below. What are your opinions? Have you ever used this camera? Is it something that you think might be a little bit of a unappreciated classic? Or yeah, anyway. Okay, there, emergency helicopter just going by outside the window. But anyway, that's all for me for now, I would say. And as always, this is Tobias Bergstrom from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. So take care from now on. Bye.